Well, we've reached the final weekend of the ACC regular season. What a magical year this has been for Boston College. A 17-10 record. They can get the double bye. They can make a statement to the committee to host. But now they run into one of the best modern offenses in college baseball history. What a matchup this is with Georgia Tech and Boston College. The Yellow Jackets competing for another regular season title. Their magic number is 2 against North Carolina. And Boston College trying to stay in that top 4. And can they make a final push to maybe, if they could get 2 here, can they get themselves in the hosting conversation? That is all of the backdrop of this as we welcome you to Harrington Athletics Village with Luis Sanchez. I'm Eric Galanti. It is so great that the schedule worked out this way, that we have this massive series here right at the end of the year.
Yeah, you talked about it. Georgia Tech looking to go back-to-back for the first time in a long time for this program since the early 2000s, and Boston College trying to ride the momentum, picked last in the ACC this season.
And both teams coming off slightly odd weekends. We'll talk about all of that as we dive in here, but let's go through some players, and one of the best in the country, Drew Burress.
Yeah, absolutely. Comes into today riding a 14-game hit streak, was a D1 Baseball ACC preseason player of the year, and for good reason. He's a top 10 MLB draft prospect, and he has done it all. 57 career home runs, tied for the program record, which is a familiar name around these parts, in Jason Varitek.
Yes, 57 career home runs. He's homered in 6 of the last 9 games for Georgia Tech. On the other side, it's really starting to feel like if BC is going to make the run they think they can, it's going to go through Nick Wang.
Yeah, the Newton product is having a career year here at Boston College. He missed most of last season due to injury and has really taken that time to improve his swing, to get better on the field, and he has done it all for Boston College, on the field and off the field.
So with some rain in the forecast, this game was delayed basically about 2 hours, but the window seems to be a little bit clearer now than it was projected earlier this evening. So we are set to go now after a little bit of a break. 53 degrees, but not bad temperature-wise here in Brighton, Massachusetts, for really a big-time series to wrap up this ACC regular season. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and it's A.J. Colarusso and the Boston College Eagles will take the field. We mentioned that both teams are coming off a little bit of kind of oddly going into this series, right? They've both been so good. Georgia Tech obviously only lost 9 times all year, but they are coming off a midweek loss to Mercer, and a rare one at that at home. Only their 4th loss of the season at home. And then Boston College, of course, coming off that split against NJIT last weekend. But as Todd Donato talked about, he was really pleased with how they actually fought back and got that second game, so he hopes that positive momentum can take them into this one. A.J. Colarusso, he's the guy, right? He's Boston College's gamer, their big-time pitcher, and perfect spot for him right at the end of the year.
Yeah, he got some innings of work in that matchup against NJIT on Sunday. 5-2 record, 3.68 ERA this season, 58 strikeouts to 18 walks. He has dominated the strike zone with that fastball, changeup, cutter, curve, slider, mix-up of pitches. He's been that go-to this season, and in his last 7 outings, he has gotten more decisions than the first 6. Just a 1-1 start to the year in 6 outings, and now 3-1 in his last 7.
And for this Georgia Tech team that he's going to face today, the challenge just ratchets up in a different way. I mean, there's not much left to say about this offense, right? It was projected to be this kind of season. It has lived up to it in so many different ways. You see Kearse, Burress right there, Jaron Advincula, the second baseman, Vaughn Lackey, that's going to be a huge factor, not just in the order, but behind the plate as well. Will Baker will be the designated hitter. Ryan Zuckerman, it is 20 home runs this season for Georgia Tech. And then you look at the defense for Boston College. The big news is Carter Hendrickson is back. He has not played since the Notre Dame series. Ben Williams still in right field. Boston College is still down Jack Toomey, which obviously is a big loss for them. Around the infield, Gallo, Solier, Manalfi, and Wang. So good for them to have Gallo and Manalfi both back and healthy, with Gunnar Johnson doing the catching for A.J. Colarusso. So the magic number is 2 for Georgia Tech to clinch an ACC regular season title. First pitch at 8:04 is a little bit low and outside for ball 1. Carson Kearse, the shortstop, 376 on his average. takes a strike. And we talked about, there's so many different ways to talk about this Georgia Tech batting order. I think the thing that jumps out is the lowest OPS of anyone in the starting 9 is 969. That is Ken Schmidt in the 7-hole. Kearse at 107.6. 73 hits this year, 27 doubles to lead Tech. 2 triples, 6 homers, and 39 runs batted in. 1 ball and 2 strikes from A.J. Colarusso. And that's off the end of the bat foul.
Yeah, Schmidt will tell you he's still batting over 500 in his slug percentage. I mean, just good numbers across the board for this program. And they have gotten it from everybody in the lineup, even the players that come off the bench. They all contribute in their own way, and that's what makes this program so special this season. Great culture year.
It's up high, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. There's James Ramsey. He's done such a great job his first season as the head coach at Georgia Tech. Been an assistant since 2019. And that is sprayed foul.
Got to learn a lot under Danny Hall and really took over the offense back in 2019, and you can see the difference it's made. You know, this season, where it ranks in D1, over 10 runs a game, batting average over 350. The home runs is over 100 is just insane.
Swing and a miss. An off-speed pitch down and away. And Colarusso starts with a strikeout of Carson Kearse.
It's just a mix-up of pitches, right? You get to a full count, you go breaking pitch here out of the strike zone, starts right there on the plate, then drops off. It's a good decision there by Colarusso to go on attack mode here early on with the depth of this lineup.
So now here is Drew Burress. And he takes inside for ball 1. You mentioned that 14-game hitting streak. His home run streak did come to an end in the loss on Tuesday against Mercer, but still home runs in 6 of the last 9 games. 71 runs scored this year, leading the ACC. The average at 373, slugging 670, 18 doubles, 3 triples, 13 home runs, and 53 runs batted in.
So you're saying he's good?
I mean, I think the thing that stands out with him, and this is certainly not an original thought, but as we get to the end of the year, it's sort of a natural reflection time. The fact that this is now 3 years in a row that he has done what he's done, right? It's something to, okay, you build into your freshman year, then you put up a year or 2, but the fact that he has put in 3 years like this, I mean, it really is almost unheard of at the level that he's going right now. In the air to right field for Ben Williams. Out there in place of Toomey, makes the catch, and there's 2 away. So good start for Colarusso.
2 big ones for Colarusso. You get the strikeout, and now get Drew Burress to fly out on a fly ball to right, kind of late on that swing. So you're dominating the strike zone here if you're Colarusso, and you just want to keep overpowering the hitters, just keep establishing where that zone's going to be for the home plate umpire.
So now Jaron Advincula, the second baseman. And that is sprayed foul over the Eagles dugout. On a career best 19-game hitting streak right now. He was certainly not the issue on Tuesday. 3 hits, went 3 for 5, a double, couple of singles. 34 of his last 35 games with a hit. That's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Just the definition of consistency, leading the ACC in hits. And we talked about Julio Solier and what he's been able to do for the Eagles this year. I mean, Advincula has been phenomenal at the plate.
Sprayed foul, so Colarusso working from ahead, 1 ball and 2 strikes. We have this conversation a little bit, no matter who Boston College is playing, but it really feels like this weekend, staying close early and allowing them to play to their identity, so important. I mean, Georgia Tech is a team that scores so many runs, and they've played from so far ahead fairly consistently. all those things that we're going to talk about that BC does well all weekend with the stolen bases and the bunting and taking extra bait, whatever the case may be. You can't do it if you're way down. 2-2. To the right side of the mound, tough play here. Manolfi charging and has no play at first base. So it is a 2-out infield single for Jared Avincula.
Those are the types of hits he loves to get, right? Beat him out, show off your speed, get down the line. You're gonna see it, soft contact that just escapes the reach of AJ Colarusso. So he's gonna allow Manolfi to try to come in and play this one, but you're gonna see the speed right down the line, head down, not watching where that ball is, just believing in your speed to get down to the bag, and infield single to get it started here. First base hit here for Georgia Tech.
So the next one up and away to Von Lackey, the catcher. And the number 4 spot in the Georgia Tech order. 1 ball and no strikes. Catcher hitting .386. 71 hits, 14 doubles, 2 triples, 13 homers. And he's driven home 61 runs this year.
Another prospect here for Georgia Tech who's been consistent, finding at bats, has improved year after year. Just trying to get his composure here, knowing there's a good base runner and falling behind here in the count.
That is in for strike. So 2 balls and 1 strike from Colarusso to Lackey. Mentioned Georgia Tech's loss on Tuesday, but they swept Duke over the weekend. Another ACC sweep. That is out of play, foul to the right side. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Even in that game on Tuesday, I mean, it came back, right? It scored 7 unanswered runs, down by 10 at one point, ended up losing 12-9 at home to a Mercer team that it's a high-quality team in the midweek, in the 40s in the RPI.
It just shows you nothing's given, right? No matter who you are in the country, especially this late in the season, anything can happen. And well, Georgia Tech got that surprise from Mercer, and it's one where you don't want to be the next team to play Georgia Tech, right? Where they've come off of a tough loss and just want to show the country what they can do. BC last year had some success against Georgia Tech, sweeping them. Won 5 straight now.
Yeah, they have. A long time since Georgia Tech has won a series against Boston College, but this obviously different version of this Georgia Tech team. 22 ACC wins for Georgia Tech. 2 games clear of North Carolina entering this final weekend. And that's fouled off. All this matters though, right? When you talk about Colarusso, who you know BC is trying to get as deep into a game as possible, so any extra pitch early in a game can certainly play a role.
That's what makes Lackey such a good hitter at the plate. He sees pitches, times them up nicely. He's fouled off a couple here against Colarusso.
2-2. It's down and away, went to an off-speed pitch. So 3 balls and 2 strikes on the Georgia Tech catcher.
Just great plate discipline. No wonder he's a top MLB draft pick prospect. It's a good eye for the ball and doesn't go chasing very often.
3-2. Up the middle, that's through. Into left center field for Lackey. Avincula coming around third base. Ball was slightly bobbled in the outfield, and Georgia Tech leads. Lackey takes second and drives in a 2-out run.
You know, Eric, you were talking about it, a 1-2 count with 2 outs, nobody on. Looked like AJ Colarusso was on his way out of this inning, but an infield single by Advincula gets him to first base with 2 outs. And then you see just a couple of foul balls here from Lackey. He finds a hole up the middle, and then even this one gets slowed down there on the turf. So it gives
probably all the rain that we've had through the course of the afternoon, right? It just slows it down enough. It takes a while to get out there.
Once Larson gets to it, he also bobbles it, so that gives Advincula the opportunity to go first to home and score the run.
So it's a 1-0 lead for Georgia Tech as Will Baker, the designated hitter, bats with, again, still 2 outs. And now a runner on second base in Lackey. The double and an RBI for Vaughn Lackey, his 62nd RBI of the season. Second on the team behind Zuckerman. He hops off second. Baker pops it to the left side. Gallo, the third baseman, over, but it's out of play.
It's a good bounce back here for Colarusso to jump ahead of Baker. 0-2, a couple of pitches in the strike zone, and up to 26 pitches already here in the top of the first.
Oh, 2. Just a piece. Good job by Baker. Nice job keeping the at-bat alive. Well, this is, talking about the pressure that Georgia Tech puts on. There's any level of statistic we could show you about their offense, but that .366 average with 2 outs. Popped up again, and this one out of play.
We just talked about it, right? The only team in the nation to be averaging double-digit runs per game this season at 10.6. That's nearly a full run per game more than second place Georgia, who has 9.7 coming into the Thursday matchup. So it's been a long time since a power conference team has not averaged double-digit runs in a game.
Swing and a miss. So Colarusso goes upstairs, gets his second strikeout of the inning, but not before a 2-out run for Georgia Tech gives the Jackets an early 1-0 lead. That Boston College will try to come back from today. That is an Eagles order that, again, has gotten a few reinforcements back, with Carter Hendrickson back in the lineup. Again, Gallo and Manolfi both in there. Still no Jack Toomey today. But Kyle Wolf in the middle of that order, who, again, we had not seen for a while. He's now started 9 games in a row and starting to find that gear that we had seen the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's a good problem for the Eagles to have, whether you have Nick Wang, Kyle Wolf, Danny Serwick in and out of the lineup. Kyle Wolf really finding his stride, hit his 7th home run of the season on Sunday. Now you have a freshman following in the order, and they'll have a tough pitcher to face here for Georgia Tech.
It's Tate McKee, the right-hander, who gets the ball for Tech today. See his numbers, .457 ERA. He's been the Friday guy for a couple of years now for Georgia Tech. Obviously starting on Thursday today. He's gone 5 innings in each of his last 3 outings. He has been, he's given up some runs here or there, but again, you talk about what the assignment has been, right? The assignment has been, hey, give us a chance when we're scoring 10 runs a game, and he has certainly done that pretty consistently over the course of this season. 31 walks, 70 strikeouts for McKee.
That slider sinker combo's pretty filthy when he gets it working. Got good movement on the curveball and changeup, so watch for that to play a factor here today against this lineup for the Eagles, who like to swing at pitches outside of the zone.
So it's Julio Solier who leads off for Boston College. What a wonderful year it's been for Solier. He just continues to hit. .363 average, .917 OPS, 77 hits, 12 doubles, 5 triples, a homer. And he's batted home 31 runs. That's outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Had 1 hit in the 2 games against NJIT last weekend, but brought a 9-game hitting streak into that series, hitting over 500 in that time. That is in for a strike.
He just finds a way to get on base. When he is on base, he causes havoc, up to 27 steals already this season for the Eagles.
That is waved on in the turf, and the strikeout completed at first base. So Solier down on strikes. And there's one away for Nick Wang.
We Talked about it for the Eagles. They like to chase, and that time you see Solier get fooled by the breaking pitch. Take a look at the Yellow Jackets defense. Brocious there in left, Burris in center, Baker in right, Advincula at second, Schmidt at first. That's the right side of the infield. Kurse and Zuckerman at short and third base respectively, and Von Lackey doing the catching.
So now Nick Wang, who takes strike one, 94 miles an hour on the outside corner. Wang in his grad year from here in Newton, Massachusetts, over 1,000 on his OPS, 61 hits, 10 doubles, and 15 homers for Boston College. He takes a breaking ball for strike two.
And he's got some wheels. He has a triple this year as well.
Had hits in both games last weekend against New Jersey Tech. Swing and a miss. That was a slider down and away, and a good one at that. So 2 batters, 2 strikeouts for McKee.
Yeah, we talked about it, that slider sinker, and this time it's McKee going to the slider and just drops off again. You see the movement on it, goes straight down through the zone, and you know, as a hitter, you're expecting it to just stay level towards the knees, so you go swing for it, hoping for contact, but that's right in the turf, and that's the deception that pitch has for McKee.
So now Ty Manalfi in the 3-hole today. And he takes strike one. A lot of strikes early from McKee. He's been all over the strike zone.
Yeah, that time it was fastball at 93 miles per hour, really challenging Manolfi here.
Off the end of the bat foul. Did not play in game 2. He did start game 1 last weekend, went 1 for 2 with 3 walks. It's been an Eagles team that has been sneaky banged up here for a couple of weeks now. As we mentioned, no Hendrickson, no Toomey since that Notre Dame series. That is swung on and missed. What an inning for Tate McKee, who strikes out the side for Boston College and does so on 10 pitches. Great start for the Jackets, up 1-0 after 1. Lead for Georgia Tech after the first inning. These Yellow Jackets, again, so many different programs, records they've either tied or broken, or 12 series wins, 22 wins in the ACC. Scored double-digit runs more than half the time. And again, a magic number of 2 this weekend against North Carolina to clinch another ACC regular season title. That is in for strike one.
And you had mentioned, Eric, I mean, the offense, best offense in the country, and the best offense in the modern college baseball era since B.B. Core started about 16 years ago.
That's in for a strike. As Colarusso dealing with Ryan Zuckerman. What a find this has been, the third baseman. 20 home runs, 65 runs batted in, 13 doubles to go along as well. Home plate umpire wasn't set for play, so
not a full
you
warning.
Hear it, right? It was not the full warning, just a borderline warning.
Yeah.
Didn't matter. 3 strikeouts for Colarusso.
That time he just went full power. Blew it right by Zuckerman there. You can see just laid on that swing, good location. Another good job by Gunnar Johnson getting on the same page with Colarusso here with the first batter, and goes right there at the letters.
So now Kent Schmidt, the first baseman, and that is in for a strike. Schmidt making his 44th start of the year, 7 doubles, 6 homers, 969 OPS. Driven home 43 runs, and he swings through strike 2.
Colarusso just showing what he's made of now, coming right back at these hitters, dominating the strike zone, inside location on those first 2 pitches.
Oh, and missed a little low and outside. Obviously, know A.J. Colarusso's history, kind of on everybody's radar last year in the ACC tournament. Of course, Boston College has felt that for a long time. It's a chopper to the right side. It gets through Wang, and it's into right field. So Ken Schmidt is the one-out base runner for Georgia Tech. Kind of an in-between hop.
I'll tell you, the water did some stuff to the turf here today. Sometimes you see that hop kind of explode with the hop, with the single out to left field early on, and then this one right here, you can see it kind of just dies down under the glove of Nick Wang. So not as lively the turf here today as it usually is, but there was a lot of rain this afternoon and coming into game time here at 8:02.
Obviously, the importance of this series, doing everything possible to not have to play doubleheaders and just get this in as scheduled. And hopefully we've found a little bit of a better window with a couple of hour delay today. Alex Hernandez now, the sophomore. Right fielder with a runner on first base and Schmidt. It's gone down as an error, by the way, against Wang. And that is swung on a miss, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Turned into a beautiful night. Temperatures have been pretty good today, even with the rain.
And it's really going to warm up this weekend. Should be pushing 80 here in the Boston area. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Not much wind at all right now. That's always the question here at times. If it's a little cool, does the ball jump? But not really a whole lot of wind right now. So 1 and 2 from Colarusso to Hernandez. And he struck him out. Fooled him with the changeup. And a called strike 3, 4 strikeouts for A.J. Colarusso.
It's just a good pitch selection for Colarusso. Expecting fastball, waits on it, just drops right in above the knees. You said a 4th strikeout for A.J. so far here in this outing. Trying to strand that runner at first.
So Parker Brocious now with 2 outs and a runner on first, and that's a big breaking ball for strike 1.
So Colarusso not really doubling up on pitches, just mixing it up, keeping these hitters off balance for Georgia Tech.
Brocious, who homered on Tuesday, is 6th of the season, and he pops this one up foul back behind home plate.
With Schmidt at first base, not really a threat to steal, so you can have your attention on Brocious and try to get out of the inning without seeing the top of the order.
Brocious, who's making his 15th start of the year, has been pretty consistent in the starting lineup since turn of the calendar to May. It's down and away, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Big jump this year, hit 234 last year, up to 327 this year, 6 home runs, double his prior career total in homers. 1-2, that's a little bit low. Brocious did not bite at the changeup.
Yeah, when you've got 17 hits on the season and 10 of them are extra base hits, 6 of them are home runs, you'll take those odds with somebody at that point in the order that can turn the lineup over.
2-2, and missed up and away. Fastball up and out. So 3 balls, 2 strikes. At the top of the order, waiting next for Georgia Tech. 3-2, swing and a miss. A.J. Colarusso, 5 strikeouts over the first 2 innings against the best offense in the country. Nice start for A.J. 3 in the second, but he's down 1-0. Second inning, hope you like strikeouts. Fed 8 of them so far through an inning and a half. Well, what a season it's been for Georgia Tech. What a season it's been for Boston College. 36 wins, 17 of them in the ACC, already their most ACC wins in program history. 13-1 in the midweeks this year. Huge reason why we're even talking about them being on the edge of the conversation, right, of those top 16. We'll get more into that as we go into the game. That's a conversation that's more of a if BC can take advantage of this opportunity that's in front of them, right? But it's really getting themselves into that conversation once again after last weekend. Kyle Wolf takes a strike, so 0-2 from Tate McKee, who's only struck out batters so far. He's thrown 12 pitches. Do the math. 11 of them have been strikes. No, that wasn't. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Looked like it slipped out of the hand perhaps a bit.
And in 8 of his outings this season, at least 6 strikeouts. So he has been one of the strikeout pitchers here in the rotation for Georgia Tech.
It's really a nice little welcome gift late in the season here that Kyle Wolf has kind of found his bat again. As good as of a season Boston College was having, it was kind of all without Wolf, right? Who did some things in that Virginia series, but struggled early in the year. Kind of lost a spot, and now has sort of found his way back into the order. Shot to third base, but Zuckerman with a nice pick. Yeah, there's one away.
Yeah, credit the coaches during BP earlier. They were practicing on that short hop there in the deep hole at third with Ryan Zuckerman. And he had a couple of bobbles that were just coming off the glove. And this time, not even a flinch. Good job with the flip. And then a strong throw over to first base to get the first out.
So now Luke Gallo, the Eagles' third baseman. What a wonderful freshman season it's been for Gallo, who takes down and away. .338 average for Luke Gallo. 48 hits, 8 doubles. OPS nearly 900. And a breaking ball to make it 1-1.
Gallo's just continued to rise. D1 Baseball came out with their positional rankings, and he was there in the top 60. I'll see that number continue to rise here going into his sophomore year with the plays he's made and the bat he's swung.
Through the left side. Boy, what a play by Kearse to get to it. But that's all he could do as Luke Gallo reaches on an infield hit. First hit of the game for Boston College.
It was a great job just getting barrel to ball there, finding the gap between third and short. You said it, great job by Kearse to get to this one and stop it from going into the outfield, but not enough time to get Gallo at first, so doesn't even risk the throw, but solid swing and great defense there for Kearse to keep it in the infield. The Eagles pretty happy to have Carter Hendrickson back.
Yeah, they certainly are. Again, has not played since the Notre Dame series, but does have hits in 6 games in a row that he has played as he takes strike 1. Gallo, by the way, extending his hitting streak to 11, that single here in the 2nd inning. Hendrickson at .275 overall for the year, .889 is OPS, 7 doubles, 12 stolen bases as well. Slider missed down, 1 ball and 1 strike. I mean, here's where we started to make this point earlier, right? As much as we talk about, well, BC likes to steal bases, likes to bunt, likes to do all those things that encompass bird ball. Well, you got to be in the position in the game to do it, right? And Duke last weekend, which, inevitably becomes a comp, right? Just because of how much they steal, right? Boston College and Duke 1 and 2 in stolen bases among power programs. Well, Duke really didn't steal very much last weekend against Georgia Tech because they were down big, right? You're not going to steal down 10. So can Boston College be in a position with the game close to do it? Both coaches kind of used football analogies this week, right? Is the air raid offense going to go and not let the wishbone do its thing? There's the throw to second base. It's dropped. Oh, boy. Otherwise, Gallo would have been out at second. But Advincula couldn't quite hold it.
Kind of sailed, right, on the throw from
little bit
from Von Lackey. It just kind of kept tailing back to the outfield. So Advincula trying to grab it and get down at the same time. You see it right there. Just kind of takes his eyes off of it.
He's out if he gets that down. I mean, that's the other piece of this, right? Lackey has a really good arm, both to second base and on those pick plays at first. Hendrickson waves over a good breaking ball. Slider's been effective early for Tate McKee. He's got 4 strikeouts, so there's 2 away in the second.
It's been his go-to pitch to finish off at-bats, and able to get Hendrickson swinging all 4 strikeouts via swinging, and you can just see just good movement on that pitch. Hendrickson thought he was going to stay in the zone and just falls off the table, and still a runner in scoring position for Gunnar Johnson now.
Eagles catcher takes a breaking ball down.
Got to think with the speed of Gallo at second, if Johnson can get something in the outfield with them playing as deep as they are, you'll try to send Gallo to tie this one up with what's at stake here today.
Gunnar Johnson has been such a key piece of this Boston College team and season. Not just what he's done at the plate, but behind the plate specifically as well with this pitching staff. A veteran who started his career with Todd Interdonato at Wofford. Came to BC last year as a grad student in his second year with the Eagles. 2 balls, no strikes. And that's out to center. Drew Burris back on it. And he makes the catch to end the inning. So the Eagles strand a runner at second base. And through 2 innings in Brighton in this huge ACC series. 1-0 Georgia Tech. For Georgia Tech, that loss Tuesday really not going to affect them a whole lot. Their resume really in a good spot, right? Number 3 in the RPI. Projected to be the number 2 overall seed. That's that D1 baseball projection. 16 wins against the RPI top 25. Going to be in deep hosting position, obviously. Not much to accomplish for this group. I still think it's worth, pointing out as the top of the order is going to lead off. You can be projected as the most talented paper in the world on paper, right? And this group was, but they have backed it up in every way all season long with the pressure of that, knowing how many of them are veterans, right? All the way through this year.
Especially trying to go back-to-back regular season, right? They've proven it with the top 15 teams, 11 games versus top 15 teams, 11-3 overall record. They lead the nation with quad 1 wins with 16.
That is out to center field. Carter Hendrickson makes the catch for out number 1.
We saw that record, 16-5 against quad 1 teams, is the highest win percentage in the nation with teams that have played more than 10 games against quad 1 opponents. So take care of business and you will be rewarded, and you see where they are now, 3rd overall in the latest rankings, and projected number 2 overall seed in the tournament. They'll tell you this is all good and dandy, but they want to back it up with championships and trophies.
Drew Burris now, and he takes strike 1 from Colarusso. So the 1 run in the first inning, that's been it so far for both of these teams, just 3 hits total. That one just missed off the inside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
For Colarusso, right, just 1 strike away from getting out of that inning before giving up the infield hit to Advincula.
Ball and 1 strike. Excuse me, 2 balls and 1 strike. Well, Colarusso has been sharp so far. Again, those couple of 2-out hits. And that's a tomahawk to left. Solier way out there, but it's Larson who's falling back, and he still hangs on to it.
Sometimes in the night sky, when there's a little bit of a drizzle, kind of just lose your balance, and it looks like Larson just overplayed it for a moment. He had the best angle coming in with Solier going out, but you can see sometimes with that type of a high fly ball, you can just lose it in the night sky. And we used to say there's somebody in the bushes looking at you when you fall backward like that.
Listen, once we show the replay, all is forgotten. It goes into the book as an out. It's all good.
Is that not top play worthy?
I guess it's not forgotten yet.
There you go. You still make the catch. So.
Yeah, absolutely. It's much ado about nothing. 1 ball and 1 strike to Jaron Advincula. Singled and scored in the first inning. Swing and a miss. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Colarusso kept that down and away from the sharp-hitting second baseman. Here's the 1-2. That one missed down and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I mean, if he can get there, he'd be the first 100 hit player at Georgia Tech history since 2005. Just incredible.
6 hits away. Be a stunner if he didn't at this point. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
We talked about the top half of this order and what they were able to do in the first inning and seeing pitches. You're seeing it with Advincula here, able to work the count full after falling behind.
So a 3-2, and that's outside. So in some ways, a carbon copy there. This time it's a walk, and it's the first one handed out by Colarusso.
It's a good job battling back, even in his first at-bat. Down 1-2, fought off a couple of pitches, and then got that infield hit. Now he works another opportunity to get on base. You have Von Lackey coming to the plate.
And Lackey takes a strike on the outer half. Fastball at 90 miles an hour from Colarusso.
Really
Again, on the surface here, sorry, 1 run allowed. Hasn't been a ton of hits, just the 1 walk right there. But this is going to be pitch number 61 already. So again, that speaks to just working the at-bats every little bit. 29 pitch first inning for just 5 batters. That's hit sharply into center field. Hendrickson back to the wall, and it's gone! Right over the 403 mark in straightaway center for Von Lackey, who hits a 2-out, 2-run homer, his 14th home run of the year, and Tech has a 3-0 lead.
And this one got out in a hurry. You said it, deepest part of the ballpark there at the 403 marker, and just kept carrying out of here. Nothing Carter Hendrickson can do but go back. That one just hung up in the zone for A.J. Colarusso. And Von Lackey showing why he has been one of the best hitters in the country there at the plate.
So 3 RBIs for Lackey in the game, all of them with 2 outs. And that is swung on and missed by Will Baker. This ball is crushed to straightaway center field. Colarusso knew it right away. And again, it just stays up over that 403 mark. That is up and away to Baker. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Just not the location he wanted to have that pitch on. You said it, his reaction immediately tells you just missed that zone and that glove of Gunnar Johnson where he really wanted it.
2 balls and 1 strike. Just a little bit outside. It's 3-1.
It's one where you can't let that home run get to you. You got to go on attack mode, not give Georgia Tech more life.
For strike 3 and 2.
That one in at 90 miles per hour. You get it right in the strike zone.
Colarusso trying to escape the third. And Baker just gets a piece of it.
more good at bats here. Will Baker struck out last time, doesn't want to go down, so able to get a piece of this one to stay alive at the plate.
Swing and a miss. So he goes upstairs and gets strikeout number 6. But not before Von Lackey to straightaway center field. A line drive bullet. And it's 3-0 Georgia Tech. Bit of rain starting to fall here. Again, we're going to be dodging it a little bit on and off the rest of the night. 3-0 lead for Georgia Tech as we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning.
Did you bring your knapsack?
Well, it's not that late. Approaching 9 o'clock here. You see where Boston College is right now, projected to be a 2 seed, pretty firmly so right now, safe in that spot. The opportunity is moving up more so for BC over this final weekend of the regular season, playing, of course, the number 3 RPI team. Colin Larson, the number 8 batter. A fielder hitting .231 this year for Boston College. He taps at it, and it's bounced foul back behind the plate.
Talked about the Eagles and having depth at first base, even the outfield. We talked about Nick Wang playing first. He can also play left. We've seen him a couple of times this year get the start out in left field. Danny Serwick, who's on the bench today, also there at first base, has seen some time in the outfield. So it's a very diverse group that can play different positions, and Larson has shown he can play left, right, center, and it's been a valued asset in the outfield.
Swing and a miss. So Tate McKee is on his game. That is 5 strikeouts over the first 8 batters that he's faced. Just the 1 base runner allowed, the infield single by Luke Gallo.
Just great delivery, great mechanics. You see that ball just kind of glides in there. And Lackey's not really giving him a target until that ball's coming through to the plate.
Ben Williams now takes strike 1. Well, McKee with at least 6 strikeouts in 3 consecutive starts in 4 of his last 5. And he's working from way ahead today. That's really been the story. And the count is 0-2.
I like it. I mean, just the combination of Lackey and McKee just look like they're in rhythm here to start this one.
That is poked foul. So still 0-2 on Ben Williams, his 18th start of the season for BC, 14 for 68 at the plate, 3 doubles. That one just missed.
You look at what McKee's been able to do. This one was pretty close. It's a good take by Williams. But McKee doing it at 35 pitches here in the 3rd inning, where on the other side, AJ Colarusso up to 68 pitches, going to go into the 4th.
Here's a 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 6 for Tate McKee.
And again, just forcing the Eagles to go after it. This one starts in the zone, great drop, falls off the table again. He's gone to that pitch. That and the slider have been really the 2 pitches he's gone to get the Ks, and Williams swings over the top of that one. Top of the order coming back around for the Eagles.
And there is strike 1 on Julio Solier. So both pitchers with 6 strikeouts. Georgia Tech with the 3 runs. All of them driven home by Von Lackey. Solier hacks at it, and it's 0-2.
Just quick work, right? Quick attack of the strike zone. You get a couple of pitches. Now, ahead 0-2, you have a couple of pitches you can work with that you don't have to attack the strike zone. Maybe a breaking ball outside and low, or a high fastball that you can go the swing and miss stuff with. Maybe an issue there with Von Lackey's glove in the pitch com.
0-2 is a slider down and away.
So he goes low and outside here on this pitch. Wonder if he comes back high and inside here with Solier. Again, you've been in command of the strike zone, so you can just mix which quadrant you want to go attack here.
The 1-2, check swing, he went. Tate McKee with 7 strikeouts. He struck out the side of the first, and here in the third, he goes through Larson, Williams, and Julio Solier. Lead for Georgia Tech over Boston College as we go to the top of this 4th inning. Vaughn Lackey has been the difference. We've talked about the pitch count with Colarusso so far, and I think it's worth diving into here. As Ryan Zuckerman leads off, and a big breaking ball is in for strike 1. So Colarusso has gotten to 2 strikes pretty consistently in this game, and he's done so again. In that sense, it's pretty similar to Tate McKee. So 12 batters have gotten to 2 strikes in the first 3 innings of this game, but after getting to 2 strikes, well, that was not a good example of it because Colarusso gets a strikeout. He's got 7 of them in the game. So throw that one in, right? That's 13 batters have gotten to 2 strikes, but Colarusso has thrown 29 pitches after getting to strike 2. So you talk about Georgia Tech's ability to extend these at-bats, whereas conversely, Tate McKee is at 12 pitches after strike 2. There's a first pitch swing from Ken Schmidt, and that is out to left field. There's quickly 2 away, so nice bounce back start to the inning for Colarusso. It's not exactly an apples-to-apples comparison, right, because it's not the same number of batters, but getting to 2 strikes and then putting those batters away, even if you do eventually get the outs, which more times than not Colarusso has, it's still only 4 base runners have reached safely against him. But 28 pitches after getting to strike 2 over the first 3 innings of this game. There is strike 1 to Alex Hernandez.
And it just goes to show you the discipline that Georgia Tech has at the plate. These are strike pitches, right? Colarusso's not messing around, going out of the strike zone, waiting for swing and miss stuff and walking a bunch of batters. He's really attacking the zone. It's just Georgia Tech does a really good job fouling off pitches and seeing more pitches. So when that 1-2 becomes a 1-2 again, and now you're forced to throw a ball because you've attacked the strike zone 3 times, it's going to make it a 2-2 and then a 3-2, and then they get the base hit. Or in the walk case for Advincula, picks up the first walk of the day.
Ooh, just missed off the inside. 2 balls and 1 strike.
There's a good take there by Alex Hernandez, who just watched that one go inside.
Tried to go right back to that same spot, and it just missed again. So 3 balls and 1 strike.
That's one where you try to establish that inside part of the plate, try to get that strike called.
That is low for ball 4, so it's a second walk handed out by Colarusso, and again, 2 outs, right? So another 2-out base runner here for Georgia Tech.
This is where Tech has done their damage with 2 outs. They did it in the first, picking up the run with 2 outs, and here now, or in the third as well, with the 2-out home run by Lackey. So opportunity to keep going, and I think this is a good timeout for BC. I think Gunnar Johnson sensed the frustration from AJ Colarusso and just wants to go out there, settle him down, make sure that he knows that he's okay, the team's still in it. It's just one where you don't want your pitcher to get too high or too low, especially with the frustration to the umpire, knowing that you're gonna have to try to get those strikes and those calls later on in this one as well. It's one that I had plenty of catchers just go to the pitcher and just say, hey, yell at me, let your frustration out at me so that it doesn't impact the game, doesn't impact you, and you get it out before that next batter comes to the plate.
So Parker Brocious now Georgia Tech add on some more two-out magic. That may be, it's not even magic, it's just two-out normal.
I mean, when you score runs with 2 outs and only score runs with 2 outs, it might be some magic, you know?
That one just missed. So 2 balls and no strikes.
And you can see Colarusso.
Now he's shaking off on the pitch comm, trying to reset himself there. Really wanted that one. Did not get the call. Now on a 2-0, that is in for a strike.
That's one where he knew he had to go to his confident pitch. He had to go to the pitch that he felt most confident in and that can deliver a strike. So goes there, doesn't overpower it, finds the strike zone and bounces back in the count.
2-1. Fastball, strike. A bit of a check swing from Parker Brocious. And it's 2-2.
Colarusso going right back inside, try to get that inside strike call. You've gotten 2 on the outside part. Just move it inward and towards the letters.
2-2. A check swing fouled off.
Again, just another good defensive swing by Brocious at the plate, staying alive, seeing more pitches, forcing Colarusso to deliver more. And again, just shaking off the pitches that he's getting from the dugout. He's not even looking at Gunnar Johnson, looking straight at the dugout.
This is another example of getting to 2 strikes. And now to 3-2.
Good battle by Brocious. Especially with the top of the order looming.
Out to left field and deep. Larson to the wall. That ball is fair and gone. Parker Brocious has homered again. And it's another 2-out big swing to make it 5-0 Georgia Tech.
Well, the Rambling Wreck brought the homer bat here to Brighton. Pair of home runs in this one have opened it up. And this was just a bomb by Brocious on a 3-2 count. Colarusso leaves it over the plate. And Brocious just watches it leave the ballpark here in Brighton.
3 games in a row and 4 of the last 5 games with a home run for Parker Brocious. And the only question there was that ball going to stay fair? And indeed it did. Colarusso quickly ahead, 0-2.
Just shows you again the danger of the bottom half of this order when you give up a base runner with 2 outs.
Chopper to the mound. And BC will get out of the inning, but not before Georgia Tech scores 2 more. All 5 runs tonight have come with 2 outs for Georgia Tech. First it was Lackey with 3 RBIs, and now it's Brocious with a 2-run homer. 5-0 Yellow Jackets, showing why they are the number 3 team in the country. Up 5-0 on Boston College. Couple games that these teams are going to be looking at in terms of their place. For Georgia Tech, first, it's North Carolina, right? Their magic number was 2 over Carolina. It's a 6-4 lead for UNC. The other one that's really crucial for Boston College is that Florida State-Miami game. BC has a 2-game lead over Miami in the ACC standings, along with Florida State, tie for 3rd. That pitch is down to Nick Wang. So BC, with a loss from Miami, which by definition is a win for Florida State, so they would clinch the double bye. BC with a loss and a win of their own would also clinch the double bye. Now, Miami was up 6-3 in that game going to the 9th inning as Wang waves over his slider. But Florida State with 3 runs in the 9th to force extras. So if Florida State can get that done, that would certainly help Boston College in terms of getting to the double bye. Waves, Wang swung at that. The throw is completed. That is an excellent throw by Vaughn Lackey, showing off his arm a little bit. And Wang is retired on what is strikeout number 8 from Tate McKee. Struck out 4 batters in a row.
Always love when catchers use their momentum, right? Slide to it. You don't have to stop, bend down, and go get it, right? Slide, keep it in your rotation so that you could throw quickly. And this is where it gets tricky, right? Because the base runner's coming across. That throw comes across the bag. Sometimes you want your first baseman to stay on the outside, but because that throw takes him across, he doesn't interfere with Nick Wang coming to first base and still able to get the out. I mean, that's just bang, bang, beautifully executed.
So now Ty Madolfi, as the Eagles just trying to get the ball in play right now. McKee is in such a rhythm. 8 strikeouts in the game. His team up 5-0 as we play here in the bottom of the 4th inning. And is in for strike 1.
He's just done a great job going right after the BC hitters. You know, hasn't really gotten close to walking a batter here today. Struck out the side in the 1st and the 3rd.
Check swing in for strike. And it's 0-2 as McKee again is way ahead of Madolfi. Struck him out his first time. A chopper to first base for Schmidt, flipping, and Madolfi hustling down the line. The pitcher McKee does get over covering, and that's out number 2.
Good hustle by Madolfi to get down the line, make that play a lot closer than it would have been. But it takes Schmidt back towards the edge of the grass, and coming over a little bit late was McKee, so it makes it a little bit closer, and you can see just a step behind is Madolfi. Good job getting that flip by Schmidt and stepping on the bag by McKee.
So Wolf now bounced out to 3rd his first time on a good pick by Ryan Zuckerman. That missed off the inside, 1 ball and no strikes. I mean, it feels like we've just pretty consistently talked about McKee just being way ahead.
Yeah, he hasn't really struggled, whether it's finding pitches that BC batters are swinging at or, again, just attacking the strike zone. He goes up, north, south, east, west. He is finding each edge of the plate to get the strikes that are called. And again, BC has just swung and helped him out.
Chopper foul over towards 3rd. So another 2-strike count on Kyle Wolf. So action starting in the Boston College bullpen. Is down and away, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hartzell and Mitchell. That's another really good slider on the inner half. And Wolf is down on strikes. That is 9 strikeouts for Tate McKee. We saw those strikeout numbers elevating a little bit the last couple of games, and it's all coming together tonight.
The real fun just getting started.
Run straight for the breakaway.
The celebration is on.
It's coming faster than we think. Men's College World Series. Both of these teams are safely in the tournament conversation. Georgia Tech looking to lock up one of those top seeds in the tournament. Boston College firmly in a 2 seed. Projections right now. Top of the order for Georgia Tech, Carson Kearse, the shortstop. That is a big breaking ball inside from A.J. Colarusso, still out there, 88 pitches deep into this outing as he starts the 5th inning.
You know, we were making the point last inning, it's, you know, just getting to the 2 outs and not being able to complete it. And it really hurt the Eagles and Colarusso today. A couple of these batters with 2 outs have had 2 strikes on them, but, you know, a single in the 1st inning, a walk in the 2nd, and a walk in the 3rd have proved costly with home runs following those walks in the last 2 innings.
It's a swing and a miss. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Breaking ball down. There's 2 pieces to it, right? The pitch count is the 2 strikes and extending the at-bats. And then the runs quite literally have been the 2-out base runner. A single in the 1st, a walk in the 3rd, a walk in the 4th, and then the next batter, whether it was Lackey twice or Brocious in the 4th, have driven in the runs.
But again, a 1-2 count turns into a 3-2 count here with Burris at the plate.
Off the mound and through. So Carson Kearse with a leadoff single. That's the first time in the game either way that the leadoff batter has reached.
It's just an extended at-bat for Drew Burris to work the count to a full count, see a pitch he likes, and then drives it right back up the middle. Almost gets Colarusso there on its way through, but good piece of hitting for Burris. And now Georgia Tech with a good start to the inning with a base runner on.
And a check over on Kearse. So it's 5-0 Georgia Tech. A run in the 1st, 2 in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th. Again, this is a team averaging double-digit runs. Got the inside corner for strike 1.
Yeah, you said it. Tech has 10-plus runs in 29 of 51 games. That's 56.9. We'll say 57%, so well over halfway. Not well over, but, you know, past halfway. He's been able to play from in front and had some big leads. You're batting .359 and scoring 10.6 runs per game. It's going to make it hard on opposing teams to try to play catch-up.
Nice block by Johnson. So 2 balls, 1 strike, runner goes, pitch is a strike, the throw on a hop, the tag is not in time. So Carson Kearse with his 3rd stolen base of the year.
It's a great jump by Georgia Tech here, and you just see good run. Burris able to slide in as it hops, and Solier was able to squeeze it, but I think that hop just takes away. If it goes straight through, maybe it's a little bit closer, but Burris able to slide in.
And now Burris going again. And the pitch is fouled off.
You mentioned it, BC not able to get to their game plan in that bird ball type of game where they're putting pressure on the opposing pitcher because they haven't had base runners. But we've seen Georgia Tech, when they're on base, get aggressive, try to take that extra bag and put themselves in scoring position.
Pitch to the right side. Manalfi charges. That does move the runner up, so Burris goes to 3rd. And that's the 1st out of the inning. So Advincula does his job. And now it's Von Lackey. This is what he did last time.
Just a great piece of hitting, able to work the count in his favor. Sees a pitch right down the middle by A.J. Colarusso, sends it to the deepest part of the ballpark. for his second and third RBIs on the day and home run number 14. I mean, he has produced not only this season, but here in this game for the start of the series for Georgia Tech.
Well, Tyler Donato out to the mound with one out. Again, Lackey, the batter at the plate. BC does have activity in the bullpen. Let's see if this is a one more batter conversation or a pitching change conversation. And it looks like it's the former. So this is kind of interesting here from Tyler Donato, right? I mean, it's a 5-0 game. But, you know, he's talked a lot about A.J. Colarusso, how much he likes to kind of pitch in these big moments and bring these big moments together. So, you know, it's still 5, right? It's not completely out of reach, but this is, hey, let's kind of work on that pressure situation that you're going to face coming up in the tournaments ahead for Boston College. Get yourself out of this inning deep into a pitch count with pitch number 100 about to come home against a really good hitter in Will Baker, as they will walk Lackey intentionally. So first and third, one out. Georgia Tech's going to have a conversation about the situation here.
I think this is where they'll try to go for the steal, draw that throw to second. And with the speed of Burris at third, you might try to snag another run here. Obviously, BC looking for the double play. Being able to turn a number of those here this season, but if you're Georgia Tech, you know what's at stake. You play the game from ahead here. You try to get aggressive. Well, some would say greedy, but I think it's just get aggressive, right? Learn how to play aggressive because you're gonna need runs in the College World Series and in the ACC tournament. So try to game plan here, try to steal another run, and maybe it works in your favor and you get that run in and still have a runner in scoring position and Lackey at second.
So again, resetting this whole inning, Drew Burris, the single, stole second. He's on third base right now after the productive out by Advincula, and then the intentional walk to Lackey. And now Will Baker, the designated hitter. First and third, one out. Colarusso comes home, and that is down and away for ball one on pitch number 100 of the evening.
You can see the Eagles trying to play the corners in. Middle infield playing for the double play. Now Luke Gallo.
There's some conversations. I think there's some comms issues on the Georgia Tech side.
About Kent Schmidt. Unselfish teammate says, hey, you can take mine. I need it back though.
Baker struck out twice in the game and he fists this one foul. So 1 ball and 1 strike. It's just 5 hits in the game for Georgia Tech, but they have been timely ones. 2 home runs. All 5 runs today coming with 2 outs.
McKay has been excellent on the other side for Georgia Tech on the mound, holding the Eagles to just 1 hit.
1-1, swing and a miss. That's a good spot from Colarusso.
But yet again, another 1-2 count. It's really about putting it away here if you're Colarusso.
And they call a balk on Colarusso. Burris was dancing down the line at third base, and he's in to score to make it 6-0.
Got right in the eye view of A.J. Colarusso. You love to see this from your runners if you're Georgia Tech. Get right down the line, get in that peripheral. Yep. You saw it right there, the twitch. He saw the runner on the right side going down. Burris does an excellent job to get in that view and force that balk, and now you have a runner at scoring position with a runner in.
So he steals the base, gets to third on an out, forces a balk. Baker is down on strikes, so 2 outs in the inning. I mean, he should almost get an RBI on that, right?
Absolutely.
He drove in the run.
Absolutely. It's just a great job, and that's what you want to see. You want to force them to stop midway through if you're the base runner, so you get right in that eye level, but not too far down where they can pick you off, and just a great job.
So a runner on second, 2 outs now, and Zuckerman takes strike 1 from Colarusso. As we play here in the 5th inning of a 6-0 Georgia Tech lead. Zuckerman to right. And foul ground for Ben Williams. Can't quite find it. Actually, probably overran it a touch.
Yeah, Williams has excellent speed, just over-tracked that one going into foul territory. You can see him kind of let up a little bit, but at this point, he's beyond it. And can't reach back and grab it, so new life for Zuckerman at the plate.
Zuckerman, who struck out twice in the game. A.J. Colarusso with 8 strikeouts in the game. 5 of them have been Baker and Zuckerman alone. Runner going from second, pitches low, the throw is there. And Gunnar Johnson throws out Von Lackey to end the inning. But not before Georgia Tech adds another run on the balk. Created by Drew Burris. There's the throw by Johnson to end the inning. But Georgia Tech with a 6-0 lead through 4.5 in Brighton. Bottom of the 5th inning. And again, it's 6 runs on the board, but just a dominant performance by Tate McKee so far. The runs from Brocious and Lackey. And then that last one in on the balk. But McKee has allowed absolutely nothing. He's faced 13 batters. He struck out 9 of them. Just the 1 hit. Remember, that was an infield hit by Luke Gallo. And we'll lead off here for Boston College.
And the only ball that did leave was a fly ball by Gunnar Johnson to shallow center. So, I mean, he has kept the ball in the infield. He has dominated the strike zone, and let's see if that can continue here.
Gallo takes low. So it's Gallo, Hendrickson, and Johnson for Boston College here in this home 5th inning. Trying to force their way back into this game. It's 6-0 at the moment. Little slider missed down, and it's 2-0.
How about Gallo in the year he's having and able to play that hot corner the way he has as a freshman here for Boston College.
Kind of inside-out swing and foul ground at first base, where Ken Schmidt is there.
I don't know.
So now Carter Hendrickson.
It's been a great addition when he's been in the lineup for the Eagles. And in 272.
That is in for strike 1. So for McKee, he had that 6-inning outing against Clemson back in March where he didn't allow a run, just the 1 hit, but did walk 5 batters in that game, struck out 7. We've seen at times the walks elevate a little bit, but done a nice job, especially these last 2 starts. And he's going on 9 1/3 over his last 2 starts without allowing a walk.
Yeah, you talked about the strikeouts. Now 22 in his last 3 before coming into today. You had the 9 he has. It's now up to 31 with the quick math in the last 4 outings.
Three balls and a strike. And that is fitting because there's the walk. So, sorry about that one, Tate. First walk of the game handed out, and a 1-out base runner for Boston College. And they'll bring up Gunnar Johnson.
Have we had this conversation? Are you a believer in the jinx?
No.
It's what's going to happen is going to happen, right? It's already all scripted.
I'm not a believer in the jinx, but that was fairly ridiculous. He hadn't walked a batter in 9 1/3 innings, and then
You say something, and all of a sudden,
about 12 seconds later. So Gunnar Johnson now fly to center his first time, and he takes inside 1-0. Pitch count's not super high or anything. That was 61 pitches. But kind of sensing it enough. We're going to see a mound visit here from Matt Taylor.
I think it's just one of those that he's been so dominating the first couple, right? Hey,
Yep.
don't try to overdo it. Just stick to what's been working. Like, yeah, you're going to see this group a second time around, but this is the middle of the order and the bottom half of the order. You can stick to what's worked so far. You can see the line, 4 1/3 innings, 1 hit, no earned runs, a walk, and 9 strikeouts. So, you know, you don't have to get too cute, as they say, right? Just stick to what's working, keep it simple, and keep working with what's solid on the mound and what's worked with Vaughn Lackey behind the plate. Sometimes those mound visits just work as a nice little break.
Yep. So 1-0 to Gunnar Johnson, and that's hit in the air to right. Hernandez going back, a step in front of the warning track, makes the catch. So Johnson tried to go after it right after the mound visit, flies out to right, 2 outs in the inning.
I love it from Johnson. Get aggressive, right? You might think, okay, maybe he's thinking too much about it. Maybe he serves one up right over the plate. And that was a good drive to the opposite field. Just didn't get enough on it to carry it out of the ballpark, but a good track down by Alex Hernandez there in right field to make the catch.
So now Colin Larson. And a big breaking ball in for strike 1. I mean, if he's throwing that pitch for strikes and can get ahead, it just gives you so many different options to work with. Chopper to first and foul. But McKee way ahead, 0-2.
We were talking about the pitch count. Now at 64 pitches, 3 out of the last 5 outings, he's gone at least 90. So he's got some depth in him if he needs to go. With the 6-0 lead, we talked about what's at stake for Georgia Tech.
Oh, 2. And hit him. Right on a foot. So after the 1-out walk, it's a 2-out hit by pitch. So 2 base runners on for Boston College for the number 9 hitter, Ben Williams.
And I got to shout out whoever said it in the crowd is "We got ice." Yeah, that's been a chant since I was in Little League. Is just wear it. We've got ice. Right off the cleat, though, you got some padding there.
I mean, the way that right now BC's taking any base runner
Yeah.
they can get. Put a couple guys on, never know what can happen. And it's Ben Williams.
Williams swung a really good bat against NJIT on Sunday. Has found himself in the lineup here lately for the Eagles and gets on base. He's improved that average to over 200.
And BC still without Jack Toomey, obviously a very important piece in the middle of the Eagles' order. That is in for strike one.
I found McKee. I'm going back to that pitch. It's gotten Williams a couple of times, swung and missed on it twice in his first at-bat in the third inning. Just changed the location.
And that kicks away. Lackey doesn't know where it is at first. Now he finds it, sliding over towards the Georgia Tech dugout. So there you go, right? You get a walk, a hit by pitch, then a wild pitch. Two are in scoring position now.
And you see Lackey just trying to play this one, but lost sight of it when it hopped away. And this is going to lead to some stirring in the bullpen for Georgia Tech for the first time this evening.
So 1 ball and 1 strike. Tried to bunt, and he did clip it. So it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Just don't want to give strikes. We talked about the stirring in the bullpen. A couple of players getting up here for the Yellow Jackets.
McKee steps off. So again, it's Hendrickson at third, Larson at second. 2 outs in the 5th inning. Georgia Tech up 6-0 in this game 1 of the final regular season conference weekend. 1-2. Good block by Lackey. That slider has been a swing and miss pitch pretty consistently this evening.
It's a good job for Williams not chasing. He's been tempted a couple of times by that pitch, but this time stays disciplined.
Two. A slider down. So twice he went back to it. First one closer than the second. So 3-2 now. DC trying to get to the top of their order. Trying to fight their way back into this game. Big pitch. 3-2. He struck him out. He goes to the slider and freezes Williams on the inner half. An outstanding pitch from Tate McKee, who ties his career high with his 10th strikeout. Tech still up 6. Nothing lead, and again, it's been the 2 out runs that have been crucial. Vaughn Lackey with a double in the 1st inning, and then in the 3rd, a line drive over the center field fence. That made it 3-0, both of those with 2 outs. And then Parker Brocious adding on in the 4th. A 2-out, 2-run homer of his own to make it 5-0 Yellow Jackets. They added the run on the balk by Colarusso in the 5th inning. And it's 6-0 Georgia Tech as Boston College turns to the bullpen as we go to this top of the 6th inning. So Colarusso goes 5 innings, and John D. Mitchell makes his 14th appearance of the season. Right-hander will deal with Kent Schmidt. And that is in for a strike.
Colarusso just struggled with 2 outs to get that final out. Had a couple of strikeouts here today, up to 8, and really dominated the strike zone. Just ran into some trouble with 2 outs, and Georgia Tech took advantage. Let's see, 3 walks, 8 strikeouts, 106 pitches, 70 of those were strikes.
Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Ryan Zuckerman at the plate when Vaughn Lackey was caught stealing?
You're absolutely right.
So shouldn't he be the batter?
Yes.
Not Kent Schmidt?
Yep. This
1-2 is outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Just make sure, because caught stealing was Lackey.
I had the wrong guy stealing second before, so it's possible I could be wrong.
No, I think you're absolutely right.
I believe Ryan Zuckerman was the best. Well, we'll check on that. That is popped up in foul ground. A long run for Luke Gallo. And that scrapes the sidewall too far out of reach.
You know, in Little League, it's, you know, when you're playing rec ball with your friends at the ballpark, it's batting out of order, automatic 3 outs. And I think they finally got word that, oh no, it's just a foul ball here, but I thought somebody in the dugout had said something.
Was definitely at the plate.
And it wasn't a strike him out, throw him out, because there was already 3 outs on the caught stealing.
Right, that was the 3rd out. Right, the first out of the inning was Ed Vincula on the ground out, then Baker on the strikeout, and then the caught stealing was 3.
Yeah, because Burris scored on the balk. Lackey was at second. Yeah, you're right, caught stealing in the strikeout for Baker, yeah.
Well, anyway, 2 balls and 2 strikes on Kent Schmidt. And a slider is in for strike 3.
I guess the question I have for you now is, does that go under Zuckerman or Schmidt?
Well, let's so the reason, so we're being told now that the reason that Zuckerman was, he was called out on batter interference. So it was not the caught stealing at 3rd, it was the batter interference that Zuckerman was called out on. So that's why Ken Schmidt was the batter. So there's your answer. So we worked through it, and on we go. And that is high, 1 ball and no strikes. Sometimes it doesn't always get communicated upstairs, but we're good now. We got it.
As long as we got there, right? That's the goal.
It's an explanation for most things in life. So Alex Hernandez now, who walked his last time and struck out his first time up today. Here's the 2-0 from John D. Mitchell, and that is down. 3 balls and no strikes. Started his career at Air Force, 5 appearances last year. Native of Springs, Texas. Threw on the 2nd of May against Clemson. That was his last outing. He throws a strike home to Hernandez, so 3 balls and 1 strike, 93 miles an hour from Mitchell. This is the 5th time he's thrown in the ACC this year. 3-1. A line drive out to right and deep. That's to the wall, and that is gone. Alex Hernandez with his 9th home run of the year. And Georgia Tech extends the lead to 7.
It was part of that Georgia Tech #2 overall recruiting class back in 2024, inside the top 100. And he has had a great year here for the Yellow Jackets. And add to the home run derby party here in Brighton for #3 Georgia Tech as they go up 7-0 on the solo shot.
So now another guy who's already homered today, Parker Brocious, showing bunt. And he takes strike 1. So we saw the line drive by Lackey right out to center field, and this one similar out to right.
Yeah, just good piece of hitting there for Hernandez. And Brocious hit a bomb too back in the 4th inning.
And it's popped foul off to the right side. And it's 0-2. Here's the homer again. Well, you certainly see the depth of this Montreal order, or this Yellow Jackets order. Here's the 0-2. Big breaking ball is up, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. I mean, I think we said this coming on the air, right? there's only the one guy in the starting lineup with under 1,000 OPS. There's so many different ways to say the same thing. 1-2, up high. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. I think sometimes you get to a point when you have a season like this where you just run out of things to say. You try to find different ways to describe it, but it's just a remarkable offense that Georgia Tech has put together. And that is crushed to center field. Hendricks into the wall, and that is gone. Brocious on a home run tear.
Another one set to the deepest part of the ballpark. And Brocious, back-to-back home runs in his 2 plate appearances. First career 2 home run game. And what a rip on that one. I mean, this is now back-to-back games with home runs. Hit a home run against Mercer. He is just riding the hot streak.
It is 5 home runs over the last 5 games for Parker Brocious. 3 consecutive in 4 of the last 5 games, and as you said, 2 today. And these are not wall scrapers from Georgia Tech today.
I mean, just bomb after bomb. I mean, just getting contact, and what the bottom half of the order has been able to do is just produce here today.
Here's the 0-1. That is a chopper. Mitchell tried to get glove on it, lost the glove, and the ball manages to go into center field. So Carson Curse.
Now batting, the center fielder, number 8, Drew Burris.
And it brings up Drew Burris. So this is where, again, because of the run rule, you really start to push for this now, right? Because the ability to save even 3 innings out of your bullpen, take a look at the long weekend, that becomes crucial if you can pull it off. And Georgia Tech has pulled it off pretty consistently, as we talked about all year.
Especially with the quick turnaround, right? You've got another game tomorrow. This one a later start than expected. So if you can save the arms going into tomorrow, you have another day where you could potentially throw more arms if you needed to.
Burris got on his last time, single, stolen base, and scored that run on the block by Colarusso. This one hits sky high into center. Hendrickson makes the catch. So 2 away. So a 3-hit inning here in the 6th, up to 8 hits in the game for Georgia Tech. Jaron Advincula, who singled in the first inning. That's what started it, right? Colarusso got the first 2 outs. And that whole conversation we were having about the pitches after getting to 2 strikes. It was those first couple of at-bats, right? Advincula ends up getting to 2-2 and singling. Lackey was behind in the count. He really works that count deep. It was really those 2 at-bats in the first inning that ended up leading to just the 1 run at the time, but kind of putting an early stamp on the game. And again, you force Boston College to play from behind the whole way. And when the score is what the score is now, BC doesn't really get to that bird ball identity, to use a catch-all term. That's a chopper. Tough play by Solier, and Wang can't quite pick it. I mean, first it was Gallo coming over, Solier with the pick behind him. Brilliant work to even have a chance at it. But Advincula runs extremely well. So runners on first and second now.
Yeah, it's a great job by Solier, still getting a throw off and keeping this one in the infield. Kersey was thinking about going to 3, but a good job by Wang to keep it in front, not let that ball get it by him. And we talked about the hitting prowess of Solier. But his defense has also been spectacular this year. His freshman year didn't get to see a lot of playing time. Now in her sophomore year has been the go-to shortstop and leadoff man.
So can Lackey do something again here against Mitchell? That's it for a strike. And the count 1-1. 8-0 Georgia Tech. As we play here in the 6th inning, they've scored in every inning but the 2nd. Lackey a double, a homer, and an intentional walk. He's driven in 3. That's it for a strike, 1-2.
That's a good location for John D. Mitchell. Kind of just froze Lackey at the plate. That's something you hear very often. Kind of just shook his head and was like, yeah, I missed that one.
So a ball and 2 strikes. Got him. So 2nd strikeout of the inning for Mitchell to end it. But how about the back-to-back homers by Georgia Tech? Alex Hernandez first, and then Parker Brocious. 8-0 Georgia Tech.
Doesn't get a lot bigger than this.
Run straight for the breakaway.
Who will emerge? We'll see.
Now Georgia Tech, that magic number of 2 to clinch another regular season title. They are trying to wrap up win number 1 and get 1 notch on their way there. They have an 8-0 lead over Boston College. As we play here in the bottom of the 6th inning, Tate McKee has been rock solid. He throws outside. So again, Georgia Tech, obviously when I say they're looking at both these teams concerned with what's happening here, but Georgia Tech and North Carolina are the ones battling there. Carolina has a lead at last check and is fouled off. So again, Georgia Tech would need either 2 wins for them would do it, a win and 1 Carolina loss, 2, however a combination they can get there. So remember we told you that Miami was up 6-3 going to the 9th inning. Well, Florida State comes back and wins that game. So that clinches the double bye for Florida State. Now it doesn't officially clinch the double bye for BC, though it certainly helps the Eagles, as Boston College came into the day with a 2-game lead over Miami plus the tiebreaker. But you still have Wake Forest, who won again today, even down to Virginia if they can really go on a run this week. NC State, Virginia. So you could have some tie-breaking scenarios that would eliminate it being a true head-to-head. But if it ends as a true head-to-head, now Boston College would have a magic number basically of 1 at this point against Miami specifically. Again, Wake could complicate that a little bit. And again, the advantage of the double bye just absolutely huge. There is strike 3. That was up and in. And got a piece of the plate. So Solier down on strikes. That is 11 strikeouts and a new career high for Tate McKee.
He's just been outstanding today. He's been in his zone. He's been locked in. Finds another great breaking ball to get the strikeout on. And that's now 3 strikeouts for Solier at the top of the order. You're mentioning Wake Forest. Wake Forest now winners of their last 3. They've been playing some good baseball lately, along with Notre Dame, who've also won 3 in a row. ACC tournament time, you never know what to expect.
Wang takes a slider down and away. So 2 balls and no strikes to Nick Wang. The 1 Boston College hit today, Luke Gallo singled in the 2nd. And the Eagles 2 base runners in that last inning in the 5th, with Hendrickson who walked and Larson who was hit by a pitch. 3 balls and no strikes now on Wang. It's in for a strike.
If you're BC, you're just looking for some sort of momentum, trying to get some base runners on. Just put some pressure on this Yellow Jackets defense. It's 2 good pitches to bounce back on.
With Manalfi next. And 1 away in this home 6th. Swing and a miss. McKee fired up and deservedly so. He has faced 20 batters tonight. He has struck out 12 of them.
And bounces back, right? Trailed that count 3-0, had to throw 3 straight strikes. Just 2 good located ones in the zone, and then gets Nick Wang to swing and miss.
And Manalfi waves through strike 1. Kicks away, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Manalfi was like, where'd that one go? Trying to track it as it bounced in.
One and 2.
Again, it's just about challenging the hitters, right? You're not doubling up on pitches. You're not going to the same quadrant. You're not locating in the same exact zone. You're making that eye-level shift. You're changing directions, whether it's north and south or east and west.
That is inside. I mean, he's only thrown 6 first pitch balls in the whole game.
Just 1 walk. That was Carter Hendrickson back in the 5th inning. That was when he ran into some trouble with the walk and a hit batter, but was able to get out of it with the strikeout. I mean, he has been in control.
2-2. Swing and a miss. A night to remember for Tate McKee. 13 strikeouts. That's the 3rd time in this game that he has struck out the side. Regular season for the ACC tournament kicks off from Charlotte. Again, the top 4 seeds get a double bye. If someone other than Duke or North Carolina can lift that trophy, certainly know who the favorites are going to be. This Georgia Tech team, again, a magic number of 2 to win another ACC regular season title. Boston College will go to the bullpen. Peter Schaefer will make his 9th appearance of the season. 5.19 ERA, last through on May 2nd against Clemson.
Now batting for the Yellow Jackets, the designated hitter, number 7, Will Baker.
That's a good jersey to wear today. What a performance by Tate McKee.
In case you were wondering, Eric, the record for Georgia Tech strikeouts in an inning was 19 by Jerry Bass back in 1975.
The things you didn't know you were going to look up when the night started.
No, me, I love my history.
Well, Baker 0 for 3 today, struck out all 3 times. And the veteran Schaefer. This is inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. So 8-0 Georgia Tech. Again, game 1 of the series. You mentioned it. It'll be quick turnarounds each time, right? 3 o'clock start scheduled tomorrow. It's in for a strike. And it's 1 and 2. And then noon on Saturday to wrap up the regular season. That'll be an ACC Network game on Saturday. Sprayed foul, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Just such a relentless offense, this Georgia Tech team. Again, it's 8-0, and they're, if we were to end right now, they'd be under their season average in runs.
It's just how they do it, right? They get runners on, couple of outs, they can still score runs. You can see a 10-plus runs in 29 of 51 games. They tied a program record for series wins and ACC wins, looking for a program record in ACC wins here today.
3-2. It's fouled off the front foot of Will Baker. This is what's coming up on Saturday on the national slate. Boston College and Georgia Tech will kick it off at noon. Boy, Wake Forest, a run they are on right now. Won again today. 7-2 over Duke and Durham. Baker walks his first time on base to start this 7th inning.
We mentioned it. Them and Notre Dame feel like there are two teams right now that are playing some really good baseball, and that you run into them in the ACC tournament. Might be a hard team to get out. See North Carolina leading NC State in the 9th inning. That was a 6-0 lead for UNC before the Wolfpack made it a 6-3 game.
Ryan Zuckerman now, who again was called out on batter interference with Vaughn Lackey attempting to steal third base. Runner on first base is Baker. 1 ball, no strikes. And a chopper foul. Couple of guys up in the Georgia Tech bullpen. Again, this is where the run rule is not just about, you know, getting to 10. It becomes valuable if you can save arms. Some of these tight turnarounds. Swing and a miss. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes from Schaefer.
Schaefer was able to jump ahead of Will Baker, but fell behind and ended up walking him. Now, same thing here, jumps ahead of Zuckerman. Let's see if he can just put him away here.
That's out to right. And there's 1 away.
Now the first baseman, number 10, Kent Schmidt.
Can see why Georgia Tech flies out so much and with some sky-high fly balls, because they're a team that likes to drive it. And with the home runs we've seen today, line drives quickly get out of here. But when you get under it the way this team does, sometimes you might hit a home run or you might hit a high fly ball or pop-up into the infield or outfield. It's just about getting that swing a little bit more level on some of those pitches so that you can drive it out. It's a dangerous part of the order with 3 home runs with the 8 and 9 hitters combined.
Schmidt takes down. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Schmidt reached on an error back in the 2nd inning. Officially 0 for 3. Ahead of Hernandez and Brocious, who each homered their last turn at bat. Runner goes, pitch is fouled off, back and left out of play. So 2 balls and 1 strike.
Saw the turf monster just get a piece of Baker over there.
It always finds its way to emerge.
Baker maybe just put on the brakes a little too hard. And there you go. Makes his appearance.
I mean, maybe a little slick, but all things considered, for the amount of rain today,
Especially now,
pretty
right?
remarkable.
You can see it on that RBI double from Lackey that goes into the outfield. You can see the water just coming from the path of the ball.
Yeah, that was right away back in the first inning. It was, you know, not that it wasn't a hard hit ball up the middle, but definitely skittered a bit. Chopper to second. Manolfi, the tag is there, and he gets the out at first to end the inning. So Manolfi turns it himself to end the 7th and keep Georgia Tech off the board. 8-0 Jackets as we stretch in Brighton. Over Boston College as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. And what a performance from Tate McKee. 6 innings, just the 1 hit, 13 strikeouts, far and away a career high.
It's just the way he has done it against this BC lineup, finding the strikeouts, not really playing around with his pitches, just going right after the hitters, getting strikes called, and when he needs to, attacking that outside part of the zone and getting some swing and miss.
And again, it's the simple stuff, right? It's strike one consistently. 16 times in 22 batters, McKee has thrown a first pitch strike.
It's such a big thing, and you know, people will tell you, well, you got to make the pitches, and sometimes just pitching from ahead and having that one pitch advantage can make such a big difference.
Wolf rips it, but foul off the left field line. 1 ball and 2 strikes. I think one of the things that we were excited for going into this series, and still are for the next couple of games, was that it felt like there was this sort of chess match, clash of style potential. You know, I know the guys this weekend will talk about it a little bit when Darren Vaught and Mike Rooney will do the game on ACC Network on Saturday. But have teams stolen all that often against Georgia Tech? Have teams bunted all that often against Georgia Tech? These things that Boston College has come to do and why they've had the year that they've had. Well, when it's 8-0, you're not getting to any of those things, and Georgia Tech just prevents you from getting to where you want. It's another strikeout, by the way. It's a backwards K this time, number 14 from Tate McKee.
I think that's such a great point. We were excited to see as we take a look here at this pitch right outside corner, just below the knees of Kyle Wolf, and gets the called strike. But we were excited about, as you said, the Clash of Styles is a power hitting team. These numbers are great for Georgia Tech, where BC, you know, numbers don't really pop out at you, but they do have the team lead in triples in the ACC. They steal bases a lot, which is right there with Duke in the top in the ACC. So how can that play to an advantage? But 1 hit, 1 walk, you've got to get more base runners in order to play your game and your style.
Gallo, an inside-out swing to right field for Alex Hernandez. And there's 2 away. It's just the 3rd fly ball out that McKee has allowed. Carter Hendrickson now. Now, if BC fails to come back tonight, it's not completely an unfamiliar situation for them. The last 2 times they lost on Friday in the ACC, they ended up coming back to win the series against Virginia Tech and on the road even against Notre Dame. That's in for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike on Hendrickson.
It's a team that's just overcome adversity all season long. They've proven the doubters wrong, and they'll continue to try to do that here this weekend.
Hendrickson with a high fly to left. Brocious in towards the line is there, and that ends the inning. Tate McKee adds another strikeout, another 1-2-3 inning. He is through 7, and Georgia Tech is up 8-0. The day for Tate McKee. What a wonderful outing to kick off this weekend series. 14 strikeouts, just the one hit way back in the second inning. Just elite level stuff from Georgia Tech's leadoff starter.
And just really from the beginning of the game, able to strike out the side in the first inning, got into a groove going into that third inning, and has just ridden that momentum throughout this one, and has had his defense to thank. Offense has supported him, and just an outing that he may never forget.
So Alex Hernandez starts here as we play in the 8th inning. Homered his last time over the right field fence. That is up and in, 1 ball and 1 strike. Hernandez, Brocious, and Curse. Hit hard, nice find by Manolfi, and he gets the first out.
Been so solid there at second base, one of the new additions this year for Boston College in the infield, and you can see why he's so good with that glove. Great decision to get low, doesn't have to go all the way down, helps himself up with enough time to get the throw off to Nick Wang at first base. Think about how young this infield is. Obviously, Nick Wang at first base, the graduate student, but Manolfi, Solier, Gallo, all should be returning for another year.
Breaking ball down, 2-0.
They can make a deep run and get some wins under their belt in the ACC tournament. Try to carry momentum. Get BC right back in it next year.
It's a breaking ball down and away. We came on the air talking about it. Obviously, the score is what the score is right now. Again, the scenario for Boston College, you know, they were kind of on the edge of the hosting conversation for a while now, and that spoke probably as much to where their ACC record was as much as anything, right? At 17-10. Now, this is where they are for the ACC tournament. Again, that's the big thing right now. It's not, are they in it, are they not in the hosting, right? You know, you can listen to the D1 Baseball, all the great podcasts they do, right, in the Nerdcast, and it's not a bubble right now where it feels like there's a great number of teams knocking down the door for that 15-16 spot, which is why then you start to look at, okay, well, there's a team sitting here at 17-10. Now, the negative for Boston College in terms of that conversation, is a stolen base here, is the RPI. At 29 right now, even before the NJIT weekend, it was still in the kind of the mid-20s. Probably need to be low 20s to really be in that conversation, no matter where you end up in the ACC, and obviously there's the ACC tournament potential on top of it as well. But again, what this weekend presents is, okay, you are where you are, but you're playing the number 3 team in the RPI, so you get this opportunity, A, mathematically, because of what Georgia Tech's RPI is, if you could win a series. And it's flied out to right, and there's 2 away. Runner tags and gets to third. But number 2, just because it's the last week of the year, it becomes fresh in the minds, right, of the committee putting it together. Now, that's a lot all of that is easier said than done when you're dealing with, again, probably the best offense in the history of modern college baseball. But that's still, even if this game ends where the score is right now, that is still available over the next 2 days. But again, the big thing for Boston College right now is securing that double bye in the ACC tournament for the first time.
Now, I know you said that in a very nice way. I'm going to break it down for BC fans. You lost a series against Clemson. You lost one game against NJIT. You had
And
opportunities
it's
in front of you.
NJIT one,
right? Like
that's the one that...
Because then you come into this weekend with an
Yeah.
opportunity to potentially
Sure.
move up. So what's done is done. Now you have a chance this weekend and going into the ACC tournament to prove to everybody that this year wasn't a fluke. And you just handle business
Yeah,
that way.
absolutely.
You know? And for Georgia Tech, they've won the regular season last year, right? They made a great run last year, but they were not satisfied. They want to do more. They want to get more trophies. They want to accomplish more. And this is a good year to stay up top and do that.
You know, the Clemson piece is kind of interesting because Clemson, as obviously we're not breaking any news here, Clemson's RPI doesn't really match where their ACC record is, right? Their ACC record was, not, you know, near the bottom of the conference, but losing a series on the road to number 38 RPI is not inherently a quote-unquote bad RPI weekend. It's all the things that, you know, we've talked about through the years, right? That some of the midweeks, right? It's, you know, the years that UConn and Northeastern put together, which are always sort of those midweek teams that become really important in this conversation when you're BC, or vice versa for any of those three teams. You know, not quite as high in the RPIs we're used to. Northeastern, we've seen them top 40 before. They're 104th this year. UConn, kind of a similar conversation, right? We're used to seeing, you know, UConn sometimes way, way up there. This year, 83, so those don't necessarily push you quite as much. As here's a walk.
Yeah, I think that's, you know, when you take care of business, you're going to get your results. But when you have teams like a Maine who can steal a win against you, and it's a team that's a little bit lower in the RPI, a little bit lower strength of schedule, and
right, you have to be so perfect.
Yeah, and that's the thing with the team here in the Northeast, exactly.
Yeah.
That you have to be able to take advantage of it. As looks like we'll get a pitching change here.
And I guess just to put a final point on it, the difference this year is we're talking about this nitty-gritty of a hosting conversation. Well, I mean, their NCAA tournament place is long since secured, and again, that's the thing that speaks to the year that BC has had. They'll go to the bullpen. We'll step aside. 8-0 Georgia Tech here in the 8th inning from Brighton, Massachusetts. Goes to the bullpen here in the 8th inning. Runners on first and third, and 2 outs. And Matthew Spada will make his 6th appearance of the season, native of Westport, Connecticut. Last threw on May 2nd against Clemson on the road. This is his 3rd appearance in the ACC. He also threw to 2 batters against Notre Dame back on April 24th. So the veteran Spada, who will celebrate his senior day later this weekend. In relief of Peter Schaefer, with Georgia Tech up 8-0. You're kicking off this weekend series here on a Thursday night, final weekend of the year. All the numbers of the seniors across the wall here at Harrington Athletics Village.
Pretty cool weekend for them, right? They get an opportunity to celebrate Senior Day at home, which doesn't happen often here in the BC schedule. And then they got graduation coming up on Monday, so a lot of cool things happening for the program.
Another reason to get the double bye.
That's just true too.
Be able to go. Not exactly sure how that one works. Again, with the Miami loss, BC's magic number to get that double bye, basically 1. So Jaron Advincula, the second baseman. 2-hit day for him, plus a walk. So first and third for Georgia Tech, with an 8-0 lead as we play here in the 8th inning. And Spada's pitch, big wave and a miss on a breaking ball, and it's 0-1.
It's a good way to start the at-bat. And Vincula has shown why he's an on-base machine with a couple of hits and the walk here today, a couple of runs scored.
It's a chopper foul up the first base side. 0-2 from Spada through the heart of this Georgia Tech batting order. 548 runs scored in 52 games. And that is the most in the modern era of college baseball in the last 16 seasons. It's going to be so fascinating to watch and see. Is this offense going to hold up through these tournaments that are upcoming? And, I mean, there's no reason to think it won't. But if you can combine that with the pitching that they got tonight, well, there's no reason why Tech shouldn't make a deep, deep run in any of the tournaments ahead. That one gets through the 5-hole, and a run to score from third base. So Brocious adds the 9th run of the game for Georgia Tech. And in fact, add obviously a different point in the game now, but add another 2-out run to Georgia Tech's total.
You think about where this team was a year ago, falling to Clemson, and then a tough out in the tournament. You know, it's a Georgia Tech program that hasn't left the regionals.
Yep, it feels like the moment, but still got to go do it. Runner was going there, so 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. 9-0 Georgia Tech here in the 8th inning.
And just 2 tough losses, right? The big loss against Murray State, 13-11, and then a shootout loss against Ole Miss, 11-9.
That is low.
To your point, this year, the big difference is going to be how that pitching can help them with the offense that they have.
Now batting for the Yellow Jackets, number 25, Vaughn Lackey.
This kid's going to be great at the next level.
On Lackey. Double, a homer, intentional walk today. 3 RBIs, all of them with 2 outs. First and second, 9-0. 9 runs on 9 hits for Georgia Tech tonight. There's a chopper to third. Gallo goes the short way and ends the inning. So Georgia Tech adds another, and they take a 9-0 lead as we go to the home 8th inning. Tech has certainly come to play on this Thursday night. Vaughn Lackey with a home run in the 3rd inning. Then Parker Brocious with his first of 2. Alex Hernandez left the yard in the 6th inning, the first of back-to-back home runs with Brocious, who finds his 2nd of the game, outpacing this 9-0 lead for Georgia Tech. That's the offensive side. The pitching side, Tate McKee, 7 innings of 1 hit, no run ball, 14 strikeouts today, and he gives way to the Georgia Tech bullpen as we go to the bottom of this 8th inning. And it's Dimitri Angelakos who will come into the game for Tech. What a wonderful performance by McKee. Career best outing. 4.44 ERA over 13 appearances this year for the right-hander.
It's a good opportunity to get some work in.
Gunnar Johnson goes after the first pitch, grounds it foul up along third. there were tenets of this. Let me be careful of the right way to say this, because obviously, you know, McKee with a wonderful pitching performance, but as the game kind of develops, there were a lot of similarities between Colarusso's line and McKee's line. Obviously, they finish much differently, and it's the difference, while it seems big once we get to this point, in the moment, it's those little things. It's Georgia Tech working Colarusso's pitch count a little bit deeper, whereas McKee is able to get from 2 strikes to strike 3 much more efficiently. It's a couple of 2-out base runners that leads to a 2-out hit or 2, and all of a sudden it's 1-0 and 3-0, and you're behind the 8 ball all the way through.
Yeah, I think getting that first run also helps. With 2 outs, they're able to basically manufacture a run with Advincula able to get on base, and then Lackey drive him in, and you see the lines, right? 8 strikeouts for Colarusso, 14 for McKee. You know, difference is McKee goes 2 extra innings, and those hits, those runs against Colarusso coming for the majority with 2 outs. Well, 5 of the 6 runs coming with 2 outs.
Swing and a miss. And Johnson down on strikes. That's the 15th strikeout by Georgia Tech pitching today.
The Eagles also just helping them out, right? Chasing pitches out of the zone. You see it on that one where Jodson, who's had a couple of hard hit balls to the outfield, just goes out of the zone trying to swing and make contact. It's been an 0 for 3 day for Wang with 3 strikeouts, 0 for 3 day for Solier with 3 strikeouts.
Colin Larson takes a breaking ball for strike 1. Larson struck out in the 3rd inning and was hit by a pitch in the 5th. You know, at that point in the 5th inning, you know, it's still 6-0 Georgia Tech at that point. So it's not to say it was a kind of game-defining moment, but, you know, Hendrickson walks, Larson's hit by a pitch, so you have 2 on, still with 2 outs, right? But you do have 2 on, and McKee is able to freeze Williams with a inside slider. Get out of it. A real only threat. That's hit hard off the railing of the Georgia Tech dugout.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for that infield single by Luke Gallo back in the 2nd inning, we might be talking about a combined no-hitter here. McKee might still be in the game just based off of the no-no situation. So it's just incredible what this pitching staff has been able to do, and the defense really bailing them out too.
1-2. Chopper foul again up along first.
And Ty Manolfi had that grounder in the 4th inning that he almost beat out, but great job covering by McKee to get to the bag so that Kent Schmidt can, you know, flip him the underhand, and he steps on the bag to help his own cause.
But after a high fastball at 92 miles an hour, still 1 ball and 2 strikes. Just off the outside, didn't miss by much. From Dimitri Angelakos. After redshirting last year, again, 13th appearance of the season, last through May 3rd against Xavier. He goes up the ladder again and gets Larson to wave through it for his 2nd strikeout of the inning.
I mean, we've been talking about the pitching, and if this type of pitching could sustain throughout the ACC tournament, going into the NCAA tournament, I mean, Georgia Tech's going to be a tough out. The way their pitchers have started this one, and you would think, you know, on a day where routines are mixed up and thrown off a couple of hours, and you've got to, you know, readjust your schedule and your workouts and all this stuff, and the weather isn't what you're expecting. I mean, they have come and haven't let anything impact what they have done today.
Pinch hitter for Boston College here, Esteban Garcia. Swings to the first pitch up along first base. And a 1-2-3 inning for Dimitri Angelakos. 9-0 Georgia Tech as we go to the 9th inning in Brighton. It is a 9-0 lead for Georgia Tech over Boston College. What a performance that they have put on here in game number 1. But in some ways, an average performance for them, the way they've been going. Couple of changes here for Boston College. Owen DeShazo comes into the game in left field, which sends Colin Larson over to right. After Esteban Garcia pinch hitting, he stays in the game in center, and the new pitcher is John Mass. He makes his 3rd appearance of the year. Through an inning against Dartmouth earlier this year, and then 2/3 of an inning on May 2nd against Clemson. And he comes into a 9-0 game here in the 9th.
Well, good chance for BC to get some pitchers some work, especially get some quality competition here in the ACC. So Mass becomes the 5th pitcher for Boston College, and a chance here to work through the middle and bottom half of the orders for the Yellow Jackets. Try to give the Eagles a clean inning. Only had one of those so far. Only 1-2-3 inning in this game for the Eagles.
And nice to see Schaefer and Spada especially getting some work in on the senior weekend. Well, now it's Mass, and his first pitch is down to Will Baker, the designated hitter. So 1 ball, no strike count. 9-0 Georgia Tech. They've scored in every inning except the 2nd and the 7th. Though no more than 2 runs in any inning. That is hit a long way to right field. Larson right up against the fence. And he has out number 1. Baker just got underneath it a bit.
That's what we were talking about earlier, right? The fact that sometimes these swings, you just get under it and you catch a little too much air that it just misses a home run. And, you know, Mass likes it because it's a fly ball to deep right field and has Colin Larson make the play. I think his chain might have broke on that pitch as well. So to give it to the coach there who comes out to grab it.
Now Zuckerman takes strike 1. Took something off there and called a strike. And it's 0-2 from John Mass. Took even more off that time, went to bit of a sweeper. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
He's a quick worker, too. He will get on the mound in 5 seconds and deliver within 10 seconds.
So Boston College, barring any kind of crazy comeback in the bottom of the 9th inning, will have to reset, bounce back into tomorrow. And again, they need 1 win or likely 1 more Miami loss to clinch that double bye. That is upstairs, swung on and missed. So how about the 73 miles on the hook, 73 miles an hour on the hook, and then up and in at 90.
You'd love to see it, right? Good mixture.
Stuff.
And you go low to upstairs, you mess with the eye level. That's a good job.
Ken Schmidt now with 2 away. And that missed. 1 ball and no strikes. Schmidt is officially 0 for 4. Did reach on an error back in the 2nd inning. 2 balls and no strikes.
Looks like a little bit of an equipment issue. So just trying to get that glove right back on.
Up and away, 3-0. does get the outside corner. So 3 balls and 1 strike on Ken Schmidt. And in a 9-0 game with Georgia Tech in the lead. And that missed down and in. So it's a walk with 2 outs here in the 9th inning. So we start to look ahead to what we might see tomorrow. Boston College is kind of swapping their order a little bit. We had seen Mudd, then Miller had been throwing Saturday, Mudd on Sunday. It'll be Mudd, the projected starter tomorrow. And then Miller likely to go on Saturday this week, game 3. It's Carson Ballard scheduled to go tomorrow for Georgia Tech. And then Jackson Blakely. Blakely's just been wonderful on Sundays for Tech.
Miller had a good outing against NJIT, while on the other side, Tyler Mudd would love to get it back. Had a tough outing against NJIT in the first game.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. It's you know, it's over the course of a long season. Brady Miller roughed up a little bit each of his last 2 outings, so can he reset after he had been really quite solid for much of the ACC campaign? That 7-inning start against Virginia stands out. I know that one was even in a loss, but he's going to certainly need those guys. Strikeout completed to end the inning. So nice job by John Mass. Comes in, gets 2 strikeouts. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th. 9-0 Georgia Tech. So 9-0 Georgia Tech leads Boston College as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. A couple of changes here for Georgia Tech. Caleb Daniel, who ended that last inning at the plate, he goes out to left field. Julio Solier leading off in the 9th inning. And that is in for strike 1. Drew Rogers also in, the new catcher for Georgia Tech. 1 missed down and away, 1 ball and 1 strike. Georgia Tech really has quite the catching group. Certainly nothing new for Tech. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Solier, Boston College's leadoff hitter. Off the end of the bat, foul off to the right side. Solier, Wangman, Alfie for Boston College here in this last turn. That's a check swing and a high fastball. He did not go. Up at 92 miles an hour from Dimitri Angelakos. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
How about Angelakos coming in, 3 strikeouts already. Does a good job getting the swing and miss here from Solier. 4 strikeouts on the day for Julio Solier.
That's a really good spot for a fastball. So tough for Wang to turn, get the hands around on that up and in. So that's now 17 strikeouts for Georgia Tech pitching today. Wang with a chopper foul.
Done an excellent job just going after BC hitters. That's in the strikeouts, just one free pass on the base, on the walk, and one free base runner on the hit by pitch.
And his popped foul. Back into the right side, out of play. It's a pretty tight breaking ball that missed down and in. One ball and 2 strikes. And he reached for it a bit. And that is strike 3. Add another strikeout to the total of Dimitri Angelakos. Pretty good spot. Again, so starting in and up with the fastball and then turning to that slider to make Wango reach for it. So now 2 outs in the inning and time in Alfie. As that one missed up and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Again, game 2 of this series tomorrow, 3 o'clock. First pitch side. As Georgia Tech will try to go for the series win and an ACC regular season title. BC will try to bounce back. 9-0 the final tonight. As Georgia Tech with a dominant performance both on the mound and at the plate. A program record 23rd ACC win. And how about Georgia Tech's first combined complete game 1-hit shutout this century?
About that from the SID department. I mean, Georgia Tech doing it all. I mean, what a game from start to finish. They jumped ahead early on, played with the lead from the first inning on, and they got excellent pitching from Tate McKee. Great job from Angelakos coming in from the bullpen, and the bats just came alive throughout this one. Needed big hits when they got it, especially with 2 outs early on to again play from ahead on the road in a cold environment where your routines were a little bit disrupted. Pretty great job by Georgia Tech. Shows you why they're number 3 team in the country. And for Boston College, still some hope here at the double bye. Just need some help or need to handle business at some point this weekend.
Georgia Tech takes care of business today. 9-0 the final score. Again, game 2 tomorrow. 3 o'clock start right here from Harrington Athletics Village. Thanks for joining us tonight, folks. For Luis Sanchez, our production team led by Aaron King, Josh Demers, the whole gang here in Brighton. Eric Galanti saying so long and good late nights. 9-0 the final as Georgia Tech gets the victory. Thanks for watching this presentation of ESPN.